Hello everyone, West Country Explorer here, and I'm just outside Stoke Abbott, a little village in West Dorset. And what I've done is I've just come along a little trackway called Anchor Lane, and I'm gonna do a bit of recording as I walk back into the village. And what it is, I'm going to be telling you a story about a murder that happened back in 1858 that resulted in the gentleman who committed the murder being executed. And it was the last execution to happen in Dorset. Now, the reason I'm going to be walking along Anchor Lane as I tell you a story is because the lady that was murdered lived in a house on Anchor Lane, sort of her house was where the lane meets the main road through the village. So, guys, I hope you enjoy listening to this somewhat macabre story. Yeah. So here we are. This is Anchor Lane. As you can see, more of a trackway than anything. Now, I don't know if it would have always been like this. I think it was probably more of a proper road back when it was used more regularly. But this is what it's like today. Now, basically, the story was of a lady that got murdered in 1858. Now, Rebecca Guppy was born in Stoke Abbott in 1804, and it was a village where she worked as a farm labourer in the surrounding farms and fields. And then in late 1833, she entered into a relationship with a John Quarrell. I think that's how you pronounce his surname. Quarrell. Anyway, she entered into a relationship with him, and he was a farm labourer from Bedminster who'd been born in 1806. Now, their relationship quickly resulted in Rebecca falling pregnant, a situation that caused John to leave her to fend for herself, neither helping to raise his daughter or even visiting them. Yeah. On the 15th of September 1835, he married Martha Rowe at Bedminster and went on to father 6 children with her before dying in 1848. So he had nothing to do with Rebecca and her daughter. John and Rebecca's illegitimate child was born in 1834 and was called Sarah Ann Guppy. She was born with a profound deformity to her upper back, neck and head. She didn't thrive as a baby, and it was initially thought she wouldn't survive into adulthood. Because obviously like, medicine back then and all the rest wasn't all that good, so Rebecca and her daughter lived in part of a house that was rented by a gentleman called James Seal, with whom they shared that part of the property from a John Hutchins, who owned the whole property and lived in the other part with his wife and family. Due to her disabilities, Sarah Guppy would often stay at home alone due to being too sickly to perform farm labouring duties. On the afternoon of 30th of April 1858, a gentleman by the name of James Seal, no relationship to the James Seal that Rebecca and her daughter lived with, he entered the property in the hope of stealing something. He wasn't expecting there to be anybody there. Upon discovering Sarah Ann Guppy was at home, he attacked her and killed her by slitting her throat and then set fire to the property. It was his intention that the body would be burned, thus leaving no evidence that a murder had been committed. Unfortunately for him, the fire was soon discovered and Sarah Ann Guppy's body recovered. In due course, James Seal was arrested and charged with the murder. I mean, imagine sort of setting fire to a property just to get rid of a body that of a person you'd murdered. James Seal was eventually hanged outside Dorchester Gaol at 8 AM on the 10th of August 1858. His was the last public execution in Dorset and was witnessed by the author Thomas Hardy. The 11th of August edition of the Times did a bit of a write-up of the execution, and part of it reads as follows. The wretched culprit was tried for the wilful murder of a young woman named Sarah Ann Griffey. I don't know why they put her surname as Griffey. That was a mistake. But yeah, for the wilful murder of a young woman named Sarah Ann Griffey at Stoke Abbott on the 30th of April last, and also for having set fire to the house in which his victim resided. The prisoner is a very young man, not having reached his 20th year, and had been working as a labourer for some time past in the vicinity. On the day of the murder, when all the parties who were farm labourers were at work, excepting the deceased, the prisoner entered the house, and after maltreating her, inflicted a most fearful gash on her throat, nearly 5 inches long, with a clasped cheese knife, and other injuries on the hands, arms and breasts, and then set fire to the house. Sarah was buried in St Mary's Church in Stoke Abbott on the 5th of May, and just 6 years later her mother Rebecca passed away at the age of 60, and was also buried at St Mary's Church, Stoke Abbott, on the 7th of December 1864. Now this property here, I'm just passing, from what I've learned in my research like yesterday, I think that's the site of the property where the Guppies lived. Yeah, so I think that's where the site of the property that was burnt, where the murder happened. So I don't want to record it too much in case the residents think what's going on. I'm just going to flip you around, guys. Yeah, so I said, from what I can see, I said it was only yesterday I learnt about the murder. So that property, you can just sort of see it there. I think that's where the property was that got burnt. So I've done as much research as I can in the time, because like I said, it was only yesterday I learnt about it, and I was already planning to come out today to do the walk, and I thought, well, as soon as I'm here doing the walk, might as well do a video on the murder as well. So yeah, that's a little bit of history about the place. Yeah, so a young lady got murdered and the guy got hung. Right, now Sarah Ann Guppy and her mother Rebecca, they are buried somewhere here in Stoke Abbott Church graveyard. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to sort of find out exactly where their graves are, so I can't show you in this video. I mean, if at some point in the future I do find out where their graves are located, I might come back and do a bit of recording, I don't know. But unfortunately for today, I don't know where they're buried other than somewhere in this graveyard. Sarah's father, John Corral, he's buried in Bedminster graveyard, church graveyard, along with his, well, I assume his wife and children are buried there as well, other children. But anyway, yeah, so I don't know if Rebecca had any other children other than Sarah, so I don't know if there's any sort of descendants that way. I mean, not that I really need to know, but not for the purpose of this story anyway. But like I said, from what I can tell from the limited research I've done so far, I think Sarah Ann Guppy might have been Rebecca's only child. but I don't know. So anyway, that's just a little story about a murder that happened at Stoke Abbott, and its connection to the last execution in Dorset. Yeah, so like I said, James Seal, was it James Seal? Yeah, James Seal. I don't know if he had any brothers or sisters, or I don't know if he's got any sort of descendants sort of through brothers and sisters and all the rest. I might look a little bit more into this story, see if I can find out any more information about it. I don't know. In a way, I do fancy seeing if there's any more info to it, just to have a bit more of a look. So yeah, see if there's anything else to find out about it. But anyway guys, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Look forward to seeing you in the next one, which will hopefully be soonish. If not this week, then sometime next week. And in the meantime guys, the usual, stay safe, take care, God bless.